Okay, so it looks like we're recording. So this is Shirley Banks. For those of you that don't know me, I'm also known as Food Girl 29 on Instagram. And I just was compelled to actually just make this little video today to just share some thoughts around some of the recent things that's been happening. Recently our president was in the hospital and with a positive COVID test. And this video is focusing around some of the medications that he received. So that's all it's going to be around. What I was really surprised and really happy to hear was some of the things that they were treating him with. Now we know that you're not going to get that same level of care that he got. So I know he said, don't be scared and all of this, but I'm telling you, you better respect COVID and you better get yourself a toolkit so that, if you or your family are exposed or, contracted, that you have some things on hand to kind of help push you through. Because depending on where you are in certain parts of the country, am I recording? Yeah. Okay, depending on where you are in certain parts of the country, you're not going to get the same level of care. And definitely nobody's going to come in a helicopter and fly you off to one of the best hospitals in the country. You're not going to get those high profile medications that our president got, okay? So, but one of the things that I was surprised about as I was reading and listening to some of the commentary that was going on was some of the other things that they added into his care. So in addition to him getting all of these high profile meds, there were things that he got in the hospital, high quality hospital with, state of the art care that he got that's available to you. Now, you're probably not going to get the antibodies. You're probably not going to get the remdesivir. You're probably not going to get that, okay? But hopefully you can get some of the other things that they were getting. So I just want to share with you a little bit of that information. And I'm taking some of this because I wrote this back in April of this year. To give out to some people that I know, just to kind of really share a lot of the stuff that was going on. A lot of things has been updated since then, but people are still losing their lives. And if you're Black and brown like me, we have a higher mortality rate when it comes to COVID-19. So we can't just, pretend it's not there. We just can't not take it seriously because there are some challenges that we have as it relates to African Americans, and whatever race you are, because it's not just killing Black folks, it's killing everybody, children, older adults, younger adults as well. And I have people who have been, that I'm aware of that still having challenges even after they've survived COVID. They're either with fatigue or some people are still on oxygen, some people having headaches. Just not feeling their self emotionally and mentally. So it's a lot of challenges that come with COVID. So please don't just stop doing some of your due diligence that you have been doing because the president might have had an easier course thus far. You need to get your house and take care of yourself and take care of your family. So let me just share some of the things with you that's in this book. And it's actually called Survival. How to stay healthy and fight against colds, influenzas, viruses, and pneumonia. And this is basically mostly about nutrition and some supplements and stuff too, but also how food actually helps to improve. Because what we want is a balanced immune system. And know a lot of people are talking about, got to boost your immune system, got to boost your immune system. We want our immune system working optimally, right? But we don't want it in overdrive, okay? We don't want it in overdrive. So we want to balance it. So I'm just going to share a little bit of information out here. It won't be long with you, so just hang tight. But you need to respect it, okay? All right? Because we're not going to get a helicopter to come lift us up and take us somewhere. So you need to do your due diligence. So just bear with me as I share this. So let me just talk a little bit, and I'll leave the link if you want to get a copy of this. I'll leave the link for you too as well. So we're talking primarily about nutrition and how that role plays in actually helping you survive COVID, with the treatment process. And that's the one thing that I took away from the recent hospitalization with the president, is these things that were added into it. So nutrition is essential for a healthy immune system. Remember, we want a balanced immune system. We don't want overdrive, okay? So for them to provide those immune responses. So poor nutrition combined with infection creates a greater challenge to good health, and the immune system may not be able to mount an adequate response. So we want the immune case, because, you know, with COVID, it has the viral phase and then it has the inflammatory phase. And so the viral phase, you know, beginning, so you don't want to get to the inflammatory, you don't want either one, but if all you can do is optimize yourself pre, or if you actually happen to contract it while you're in that viral phase, is to optimize yourself. And that's what they were doing with the president, was optimizing him during that viral phase before the inflammatory phase kicked in. But we're not exactly sure his dates and times, so I won't even go into all of that, okay? So malnutrition and nutrition deficiencies can slow down or suppress the immune system. The immune system functions better when it's protected from environmental assaults and a healthy lifestyle and diet. So that's the things that we're going to focus on. So nutrition actually provides antioxidants and cofactors to help regulate the cytokine response. So we've also heard a lot about the cytokine response with COVID, but there's also a bradykine response too as well. And I'm not going to go into that as now. And it may be possible that it's both of them that's actually being activated because the immune system has kind of gone haywire. But we do know that chronic nutrition deficiencies, whether it's COVID or any other thing, can lead to an inability to fight against disease, okay, and infection. So by adding nutrition, we give ourselves antioxidants, we protect ourselves from free radicals, hopefully. So let's talk about one of the things that the president, I saw that they were giving him, was melatonin. And melatonin has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties with it. But one of the things too is that, you know, to help with the sleep. So let's just talk about how important sleep is. Then we're going to get into the melatonin and things that you can do to enhance your melatonin through foods, or, you know, even in a supplement kind of form. So sleep, I'm just going to be reading from my book, so if that's okay with you guys. Sleep is especially important for overall health and wellness, right? It is involved in the repair, so we listen to repair and healing functions of the body. Optimize your sleep to improve your immune health. So one of the things you want to make sure is you get in rest, you get in sleep, okay? So sleep affects how fast we recover. Proteins that target the infections and inflammation is produced, not only is produced, but it's released during sleep as well. Your fighter T cells are turned up during sleep. So these are the things that's going to help you fight this bacterial or viral infection off. These things are turned up as you're sleeping. So T cells are those specialized to fight viruses inside the cell, and that's where we need it to happen. Stress hormones are reduced. So sleep helps to bring down your stress, helps to increase your immune by building up those T cells and releasing those proteins that help you fight off infections. An increased stress hormones, if you're not getting enough sleep or if you're under a lot of stress, and we're going to talk about stress management in another thing, will actually limit the amount of T cells or the T cells' ability to target the infected cell. So let's talk a little bit about sleep hygiene, okay? So I really think I've given, as a nurse, I've given lots of people sleeping pills and to help them sleep. And I just got off a podcast and I was listening to somebody and he was saying about the side effects that he was experiencing because of the sleeping pills that they were giving him to help sleep, but he was still having a problem with sleep. You have to develop a sleep routine. And it doesn't happen overnight, but if you can start to put these things in place, you can start to get better sleep if you optimize the things that you can do without the sleeping pill. But let's talk about that a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. So you want to avoid sleeping pills at all possible, if at all possible, because they affect your restfulness. So sometimes people on the sleeping pills, they still don't feel rested when they wake up. It'll leave you feeling groggy, plus all of the side effects. Now, if that's something your doctor has ordered for you, talk to him. Is there another way that I can actually promote better sleep? that these sleeping pills, if that's how you're feeling. Because I know some people, you know, been on pills and you don't want to stop overnight. You want to process it and make sure you're talking to your physician as you're walking through, you know, maybe finding another way to improve your sleep. Okay. You want to limit your naps during the day and practice a consistent schedule. So if you're napping 2 or 3 times a day, or even maybe one time, you're going to have a harder time keeping a nightly sleep schedule. Now, some people don't have a problem with sleep, and that's great. If that's not you, don't worry about that. But if you are having a problem with sleep, I'm talking about how important sleep is, in addition to medications, in addition to diet, how important sleep is as we look at working with our immune system, okay? So avoid the sleeping pills because they leave you feeling groggy, as I said, side effects. Limit your naps. You want to turn off your TV and electronics prior to you going to bed. I know sometimes I take my phone to bed with me. I know, and I have stopped to try and stop doing that habit, because try and turn off all electronics prior to you going to bed. You know, I'm the first taker of what I'm talking about. So that's something I got to get better at, okay? And it's not that I take a bed, but it's by my bedside. And sometimes it's on because my alarm system is on and that comes through my phone. So a lot of times that's why it's on. You want to get natural light during the day. And especially now as the days are going to be getting a little bit shorter, try and get out and get some fresh air, some sunshine during the daytime, okay? And exercise several times a week. That's going to improve you overall. Even if it's not sleep, that's your issue. Exercise, getting out in the daylight and getting some fresh air and some sunshine is going to be optimal for you. Okay, whatever health challenge you're facing, even if you're not facing a health challenge, it's going to be a good thing for you. Okay, so Shirley, okay, I got an issue with sleep. I may not be on sleeping pills yet, but how do I get better sleep? There are a couple of things that you can do, right? So let's talk about zinc. Now, zinc was actually one of the things that the president was getting while he was in the hospital, in addition to melatonin. So let's talk about the zinc that he got. So zinc can improve the quality and the duration of your sleep. So if you're not on a supplement, even though during these times, I would recommend that you are on a zinc lozenge or something. You can talk to your doctor. I'm not, just my disclaimer here, I'm not telling you what to do, but as for me, I know that's something I would be doing this time because we're coming into flu season. A zinc lozenge is going to be very protective against viruses to help your body. So that's something I would definitely be incorporating. If you're not on you can get it from food, but food may not be enough. So you might want to go for a supplement and get a lozenge form. Okay. But talk to your doctor if you have a concern. As I said, this is just educational information. I am in no way prescribing anything for you or telling you what to do about your own health. I am a healthcare professional, but I do not work with you or for you. So you can take this information and do what you want to do with it. Okay, toodles. Okay, so zinc. If you're not getting that, look at foods that have high carb. Oysters. I'm not an oyster fan, but if you like oysters, they're full of zinc. Chickpeas, cashews, chicken, oatmeal. Because supplements, the foods are available, because I think the food alone may not be enough, especially now as we're coming into flu season as well as with COVID. So look at optimizing your zinc level. If you're not an oyster fan like me, get your chickpeas in, your chicken, your oatmeal. I can definitely do that. Some cashews, do that, okay? Intermittent fasting. A lot of you guys know about intermittent fasting. It may improve your sleep quality. Intermittent fasting is a period of time where you don't eat. Like, say, for instance, your last meal is at 7 p.m. at night, and then you wake up in the morning and you skip breakfast, and then maybe your next meal is not till 12 p.m. So that's intermittent fasting, because it could be more like a 14-hour fast, a 12-hour fast. So you got up at 7, you ate at 7, that's 12 hours. You didn't eat the 12, I think that's like 16 hours fast. So intermittent fasting actually does a lot. And we're gonna do some education around fasting and how that actually benefits the body. It's not only a spiritual application, but there's also a physical application that happens with fasting, okay? So magnesium supplements are good too as well to add. And these, like most of these things that I'm talking about with the zinc and the magnesium, you're not going to pollute your body with it. You're not going to get overdosed with it. If your body doesn't need it, it will just, allow it to be pushed out when you urinate. Okay. So magnesium supplement, the best ones are kind of like glycinate and or citrate. So let's talk about melatonin a little bit, okay? Because that's one of the things that the president was getting while he was at Walter Reed. And he may still be getting it now that he's back at the White House. But why do you think they gave him melatonin? Why? Okay, let me tell you, in case you don't know. It's anti-inflammatory. So remember we talked about it has two phases. It's the viral phase and the inflammation phase. So melatonin is anti-inflammatory. And it's has antioxidant molecules too as well. Melatonin, you can get it in sprays, drops, and also there's sublingual, like under your tongue, because it's absorbed better that way, okay? And especially if you don't have good gut health, you don't want to take a pill. You want to do something that's going to get into the bloodstream and help you that way. So a spray, these sublinguals will definitely help. So melatonin is effective in reducing vessel permeability, and evidence suggests that it may reduce the level of the circulating cytokines in COVID-19 patients and reduce lung damage. So he's getting this because of the anti-inflammatory portion, as well as the possibility to reduce lung damage, okay? Now we're talking about sleep, and that's how melatonin helps you with sleep too as well. But just the thing to know that it may help you if you do contract it, prevent that lung damage, that vessel permeability, okay? And I can give you the link for that. There is, you can look that up on NIH.gov for that resource. I got that back in April, I retrieved it. It says COVID-19 melatonin as a potential adjunct treatment, okay? So let's talk about foods. So like, I don't want to take a melatonin supplement. Let's talk about food. There are foods that you can take that can help influence your melatonin levels. So I would start those now, okay? Because first of all, like if you did, you would already have those things on board and it might help you with your sleep. Things like olives, cucumbers, grapes, walnuts, flax seeds, asparagus, tomatoes, all of those foods that you can easily add into your diet. So my main focus is like on nutrition and how we can optimize our health and how we can prevent disease and age well too as well, okay? And so the melatonin, we got foods that can help you with that. We got zinc, we got foods that can help you with that. Magnesium, we have foods that can help you with that. But if you are getting a supplement, I told you which two would be best for you with sleep. So tryptophan actually is a precursor to melatonin. And most of us know about tryptophan because on Thanksgiving, we eat the turkey. And then after we eat the turkey, we're like, okay, maybe that's not you. Maybe that's just me. Okay, I digress. Okay, so melatonin tryptophan is a precursor to melatonin and can help increase your sleep quality. So you want to add things like turkey, steak, chicken, or whey protein to your diet, okay? So optimize your sleep level. That's going to help decrease your stress level, decrease your stress hormones, actually help to build up your build up your T cells and actually release those proteins in your body that's going to actually help to fight off infection. So let's talk about vitamin D for a minute. That was the other thing that they were giving him into the hospital. And we're going to do a whole series on vitamin D because typically as Black and brown Americans, our vitamin D levels have been really low. And there's a lot of theories about why they're low, why they're not high. There's a lot of theories behind that. And so I want to go into some conversation around that on a later date. But a lot of times, especially now, I think if you go to your doctor, most doctors will order a vitamin D level for you. But if they don't, and you don't know what your vitamin D level is, ask for one. Especially now that we're coming into the fall and winter season and we're not going to be getting out as much and not getting as much sun, because we get vitamin D, when the UV rays actually kind of touch on our skin, when we're exposed with our face and arms. And then it has to be converted into the body. but it may not be converted well if you're older, if you got issues with your kidneys, and then we are melanin, so we don't, it takes a little bit longer for us to absorb those lights and make the vitamin D. But they were giving him vitamin D, okay? So vitamin D, I like to think of it as a thermostat. It kind of controls what's going on in your body. And typically, so many of us are low in vitamin D, especially Black and brown people, as I said. So it's a potent antiviral hormone that acts as a thermostat for the body. Our bodies can make vitamin D3. So if you're going to get a supplement, vitamin D3, okay, that's because that's what our body makes. But most people do not make enough, okay? So most people use supplements, and so we can choose foods to help support those levels. Growing up, I think my aunts always, they gave us things like cod liver oil and castor oil during the wintertime. It was just like, we stand in line, here, you drink this. And I used to throw it up all the time until the last time they gave it to me. And after I threw it up, they had another one for me to drink right afterwards. So I learned, don't throw it up, because she's gonna give you another one. So you better not throw that up. You better just hold it down, just hold it together, sister. So most people use supplements and choose foods that are gonna help improve those levels. So vitamin D has to be activated in the liver and the kidneys, as I said. If you don't have good functioning kidneys, or you're older, your liver's compromised, your fatty liver or whatever, you're not gonna have high vitamin D levels, okay? So genetics also can play a role in there if your body is not able to convert that to a usable form. So vitamin D and vitamin A works together and should be taken with food to be properly absorbed, because they're fat soluble vitamins. So you want to take them with fatty foods, okay? So check your levels, get outside early morning, supplement is needed. You can get it through food, salmon, love salmon, sardines, tuna, eggs, orange juice, cod liver oil. So, you know, I guess if you would have the most thing on here would be the cod liver oil. I think it has a higher I units over the orange juice and definitely over the eggs. But salmon, sardines, add those things into your diet, into your children's diet, your family diet, improve your vitamin D level. It is very, very important. There was one study that I looked at that said that they link low vitamin D levels to the rate of mortality with COVID-19. So that meant those people who died had lower vitamin D levels as they look back and studied. So get your vitamin D in, get a level check with your doctor if you don't already know what your level is. And sometimes your insurance won't cover it. If you have to pay for it, you are worth it. So do that for yourself, okay? And I'm just gonna give you one more thing here. Let's see here. So the other thing that they were giving him was zinc, okay? So zinc is a mineral, and I think we talked about that a little bit up there, but I'm gonna give you a little bit more information about it. And we talked about zinc with sleep, okay? So it's needed for cell metabolism. So it's not just, you know, helping you with sleep, enzyme function and wound healing. So zinc also has the potential to block virus replication. And this is from a 2010 study. And so that's what happens with COVID. It comes in and it hijacks your cell, and then it replicates itself and makes copies of itself. So it's like a copy machine that's going berserk, boom, 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 just plowing out copies after copies. But apparently zinc has the potential to block this virus replication. So most people are low, as we said, so lobster supplement forms. Okay, now I think this is the reason I wanted to bring this up again, because phytates, which is found in like whole grains, your breads, the cereals, and legumes, can actually block the absorption of zinc, okay? So at the first sign of a respiratory infection, sneezing, coughing, feeling sick, mild fever, you know, talk to your doctor, start, you know, your zinc lozenges, and you also might want to, at the time, since we know these phytates can actually block zinc, I would stay off of the breads and cereals and beans during that time, just so that you can optimize your zinc absorption, okay? So zinc can be very helpful. And the key takeaway is that Gatekeeper, zinc is actually the gatekeeper for critical for white blood cells. So you want to choose those foods like crabs, lobsters. We talked about oysters before, red meat, poultry, and dairy. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you. That those were the things that they, in addition to those, novel drugs that they gave to the president, they also gave him things that you can do and you can incorporate in your toolkit. So that's it. Health and healing, stay well, people, and respect COVID. Don't take it lightly, okay? I'm not saying be fearful, but because we have lost loved ones, friends, we want to be serious about this, not something to joke about, all right? Health and healing.